Ladies and gentlemen, you are so lucky to have Gabriela on. You don't even know how lucky you are. If you don't feel lucky, then you're not in touch with your inner self. Can you
It
see
just
us
took
okay,
me like,
Gabriela?
yes, it's perfect. It just took me like 45 minutes to connect with you guys, but we got this.
We were supposed to start at 6:30, and due to some software issues, it's now 7:05, but it is going to be worth it. Your connection is really bad. Your picture's coming in and out, but don't worry, we'll capture the audio. The real audio problem is Brian. Gabriela. Hola.
Oh, don't start
No,
with
we
me
don't.
in Spanish. It's very bad. I can really say like hola, ¿qué tal? Yeah, and that's it.
What language? What's your? Aren't you from Spain?
Well, I'm not really from Spain. I'm from Poland. I just live in Spain for like 1 year already, and I still can't speak Spanish, so there is nothing to be proud of.
And is that a Polish name, Gabriela Migala?
Yes. I mean, Gabriela is,
So,
I would say it's really like international, but it just, for example, when I ask for a coffee in Starbucks here, sometimes there is a different versions of Gabriela here, so it's just simple.
okay,
Gabriela with one L, just that. But Migała is
and,
totally
and and say your last name
Polish.
for me,
Migała.
Migala. So is that's not a Polish
Migała.
name, is it?
Migała. Not la.
Migawa,
Yes,
Migawa,
perfect. Yes,
Migawa,
perfect.
Migawa,
Finally,
Gabriela
yes.
Migawa, Migawa. Did you know that, Brian?
No, I did not.
Oh. Is that a Polish name?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh. And your home now is Mallorca?
That's correct. Yes.
And although your internet feels like you're coming from the moon, you're actually in Wisconsin.
Exactly. Around like 1:45, like 1 hour 45 minute drive to Madison. It's the city.
Is,
It's called Plymouth. Like I really can't pronounce it correctly, but it's super small
Plymouth.
town. Yes, that's it.
Yeah, I think there's a cow sleeping on your internet connection.
Oh yes, that's for sure. Actually,
Gabriella,
we
do
are
you dread
staying.
this? Go ahead.
Say it again. Actually, I wanted to say that we are staying on the fish farm, and few hours ago, Christoph catch some fishes for dinner. It's true,
Oh, wow,
really.
that's awesome.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah, that's cool. And do you hate this shit, like communicating with foreigners? Like you're like, oh, great, another interview in English. Doesn't anyone speak Polish in this country?
Like that would be amazing to actually speak Polish with everyone, but Polish it's not really a popular language. I mean, I wouldn't say that I hate this, but this is something which is a bit uncomfortable for me to talk in different language, and it just I don't know. It's stressful to communicate, and especially when I hear myself later, you really can't get rid of this Polish accent. So I'm having a hard time to listen to myself afterwards.
Oh, interesting. Well, it definitely, when people speak different languages, it affects the cadence of the conversation. Like, even I catch myself trying to slow down and say each word slowly so that your brain can, because your brain has to translate it, right?
Yeah, but I think I feel quite comfortable with understanding English. It's more like talking. I feel I need more time to translate
Got,
what I'm trying to say and communicate with you guys.
Oh, that's interesting. I wonder if that is like a different processor speed in terms of recalling words that you want to say as opposed to digesting them. Wow, that's cool. That makes sense.
So she spends a lot of time with people from a bunch of different countries, right? Christoph's from Hungary, Jacqueline's from Norway. I don't know. Is John originally from England, or is he from a different country in Europe?
English. Mm-hmm. He's English.
And so, do you guys all communicate in English, or do you use various languages?
Yes. We communicate in English, and that's the reason why I haven't learned Spanish yet. Because I'm just so lazy. Like, everyone around us speaks English, so it's really hard to learn. Like, basically all my friends from Poland, they're like, yeah, you're gonna catch Spanish so quickly. Like, you just moved to Spain, it's gonna be so easy to learn a new language. But actually, I'm talking in English there, so not really.
Is that amazing living on that island? Are you just in heaven there?
Oh yeah, it's for sure. Like, I don't really need more than sun and nice weather. So even the thing that there's no much to do because the island is so tiny, it's just perfect.
And do you work? Do you have a job?
No, I don't have a job. So my job is to be an athlete full time. So like, I have enough sponsors at this moment, so I feel, how to say it, like, I'm lucky enough to be able to spend all my time on training and recovery and all the stuff around.
How old are you?
I'm 22 right now, and on September I'm gonna be 23. So I still feel like I'm 22.
You Gotcha. Yeah. You should wait until the day.
Exactly.
Yes, stay 22 as long as you can. You did an interview, I think it was last year, with a guy, I don't know what country he's from, and I can't say his name. He has 4 consonants in his name. I think his name is Weeks. Wyks. Do you know who that is?
Yeah.
He's an older guy. He looks older than me. Yeah. And you did it for the morning chalk up.
I remember that. It was
and although it won't be as good as
sorry, it was just before the stage 1, I think.
That's okay.
CrossFit Games last year.
I can't remember when.
I think so.
But there's no way it can be as good as this podcast. But he dug up a great point and a fantastic question for you that brought up an amazing topic. At least I think it's an amazing topic. The fact that you were a very successful CrossFit Games teens athlete, and that the change to becoming an individual in the open competition, that there's an enormous leap. And you told them that when you made that leap, that you had a year of uncertainty about whether you would ever be good enough to compete on the stage with the individuals. And I thought that was fascinating. And when I mentioned it to Brian, he was like, yeah, there's very few teens that make the leap as fast as you did. And I was wondering if you could talk to us about that a little bit. Even though Weeks already came up, I give him all the credit for coming up with that, digging that out of you.
Oh yeah, I definitely.
Or whatever his name is.
I would be happy to talk about this period, because I feel like this year, 2017, was the hardest year for me so far. Like, competing in a teen games was totally different than being an individual in 2017. It was just completely different level, and like, I was 17 when I compete in Open that year in 2017, and I still had school life, friends and stuff. So I'm getting lost right here. Right here. It's what I wanted to say. I had no idea that there's still so much work to do to qualify to regionals. Like I thought, because I just finished at the games on the podium, I was third. It's gonna be very easy to qualify for regionals and then qualify for the games. But that year I haven't even qualified for regionals. So after that I was just really how to say, like, disappointed, and I didn't really know what happened. And yeah, like I really didn't know what to do next, because basically my season was over and it was just the open season. So basically it was the beginning of the year and I was done. And I still had to finish the high school.
You
so,
weren't.
Yeah.
So you weren't fast enough. You weren't strong enough. You weren't. You didn't have gymnastics that were good enough, and none of the components that it would take to get to the games. It's not a seamless transition. What you're saying is that the distinction between a teen athlete and a pro individual athlete is just, there's a big gap to cover there.
Yes. Yeah, definitely. And I really, that time, I really had to make a decision if I want to try and really focus on my weaknesses and go for it in next season, or I should just drop it and have a normal teenager life and party with other kids are doing. But then I was like thinking, okay, I really love the sport, and like finishing on the podium as a teen gave me this perspective of what I want to do, and that's why I decided to train hard for it and sacrifice. Maybe that's not the right word, but to not do what others are doing in my age, but really focus on my training. And even though it wasn't guaranteed that I'm gonna qualify next year, right? But yeah.
Right. What are some of the differences? So as a teen, what was your what was your max deadlift? What was your max back squat? What was your max number of pull-ups? Like how far off were you? Was your deadlift 100 pounds off, your back squat 100 pounds off, your pull-ups off by 20?
So I'm not really counting in pounds here. I'm still in from Europe, so I'm
okay.
Like,
you can use kilos. Use whatever you want. Yeah, do what you want.
So I
do what you
can't
want.
really
This podcast is
remember.
already fucked up anyway. You go ahead.
I can't remember exactly my weight, my number in weight, but what I can say that I remember the final event on the games in 2016, and there was like buy-in 30 chest to bar pull-ups, and I remember I PR'd my pull-up chest to bar set unbroken, which was 10 on the final event. Then. So you can just see how and still I like it. 10 reps of chest to bar my unbroken. It was like my PR set, and I still was able to finish third on the podium. And how it just shows how level on teenager athletes it's right now, and how it was in 2016, right? Yeah.
So let me see if I understand what you're saying. You're saying last year that you needed 30 unbroken chest to bar pull-ups in the teen competition, and the year you did it, 10 was good enough? So you're saying the teen competition is getting that much harder also?
Wait, say that in 2016, in the final event at the competition,
okay,
the CrossFit Games,
there
was 30 chest to bar pull-ups for as a buy-in of some kind of workouts. And back then, I was super happy because I started this workout and I did 10 chest to bar pull-ups, which was my, PR with unbroken.
PR.
Yes, unbroken set. So.
Okay.
That was my level of gymnastic back then, and I still was able to finish on the podium. So this just shows how the level.
And when you see these girls, how about like your snatch? When you see these girls snatching 200 pounds, is it freaking you out?
Like the teenagers now.
Or are you like, okay, I'm sorry?
The teenagers now, you mean? Or
No, just the individuals. When you see the individual women and what they're doing, does any of that stuff seem unattainable to you? Like when you see, basically what I'm trying to figure out is how did you get your head wrapped around the fact that you were going to make that leap? Like, did you see, oh my God, so this girl has a 385-pound back squat and my back squat's 265. How am I ever going to make that, close that gap in 1 year? Were there any movements that you were like, wow, how am I going to do that?
So my thinking was that I'm just 17 years old. I just started this. It was my first open ever, and I was able to qualify for the games. And I just thought that I have still a lot of time to catch those girls. Like some of the girls are doing this for years already, so that's why they are so strong. They have the technique to do those stuff. So I knew that I can reach this level at some point. I had no idea when I'm gonna do
Awesome.
that, but I was just trying. I really don't like to give up, and that's what I didn't do.
You don't really like to give out what?
To give up.
To give up in
general.
Right,
to give up. Yeah, and that's why. Yeah, and that's why you're a CrossFit Games athlete, and I'm just a guy sitting behind a desk doing a podcast, because that shit scares the shit out of me. And when I asked you the question, you didn't even flinch. You're like, no, I just don't give up, and I knew I could get it in time. As a child, you look like my sister. It's pretty funny. You look like a young version of my sister, although my sister still looks young. Yeah. Her name's Tanya.
Okay, that's a nice name.
When you were a child, yeah, it's a great name. When you were a child, what sports did you play? Because I saw that you played tennis, and that you really loved the sport, and you said that that's really how you built your endurance.
Yeah. So tennis was the sport which I really choose to train, but before that I was really confused what to do, because I just knew that I really like to move, and I basically try every sport. Like, okay, maybe not every sport, but I try especially a lot of team sports. I try basketball, volleyball, even football, but I didn't really like those. I think the fact that it was all about the team, and I just prefer to be individual and rely on myself more. So that's why basically it was my parents who chose tennis for me, because they just saw that I'm so confused and I can't really decide what I want to do. So they just signed me for a tennis class, tennis lessons, and this is how it started. I was 10 when I started. I think, like, to be professional, it was way too late, but I still tried.
Oh, so when you went into tennis, you had thoughts of becoming a professional tennis player?
So when I began, I didn't really think about, like, okay, I'm gonna be professional. I just did that because I felt happy when I did that. But like later on, I took it more seriously, and like I spent more time on the court than other kids from my tennis group. So I really tried to become better.
I wonder if you can beat my son. He's 6 years old. He's been playing for almost a year now, but he's really good. He's really good. What are you laughing at, Brian? What are you laughing at? And it's interesting that man, what a mess. I've never heard of anyone coming from tennis and becoming a CrossFit Games athlete. You know, most of them you always hear about, they're either gymnasts or soccer players. So obviously that was fascinating to me. And when you said it helped you build endurance, that was interesting to me too. I don't play tennis, but I know it's just, you know, really short bursts back and forth.
Mm-hmm.
But I do guess that sometimes your games are like 3 hours long, right?
Oh yeah, and I think what tennis really helped me with is feeling okay with the heat, because we used to have some training session outside. It was like 12, like middle of the day, and the sun was shining so hard. It was like 30 degrees outside, and we were running back and forth. So I think that it really helped me with the heat.
And the mental game's pretty insane with tennis too. The three best tennis players in the world, I forget who they are, but I heard the stat that the three best tennis players in the world only win 55% of their points. And that basically in tennis, since there is no clock, you always have a chance to win as long as you're on the court. So it's just an enormous mental game.
Exactly. And this is, I think, because I was in national level, like I never went outside my country to compete. Like I could never qualify for anything. I think I was just very tense while I was competing. I was very stressed, and I couldn't find my game on the competition, on the tournament. Like I was a completely different athlete on the court, on the practice, and I was a completely different athlete when it comes to tournament.
Are your parents still Go ahead.
So like I felt like something was off, and then at some point I did CrossFit and tennis together, and I just started to enjoy CrossFit much more. And then it was my first competition, which was in my box at that time, and it wasn't like anything big, like, you know, the inside the box competition. But I won this one, and it just like made me so happy, and I was feeling super relaxed while I was doing the workouts. It was like totally different feeling compared to why I was competing in tennis.
On a 1 to 10 scale, how would you rate yourself in terms of just your confidence?
Like right now, in general.
Are you a confident person? Yeah. Just in general, not with CrossFit, just as a person.
Oh, not really. I'm working.
Really?
Yes, I'm working on it, but it's very hard work.
You exude confidence.
Yeah, I think it takes confidence just
really,
to say that.
Really. Like I was about to ask why you guys are so surprised. I'm quite shy person, and yeah, definitely.
Do you have a boyfriend?
Confidence. I have a boyfriend.
Is he Polish, Spanish, or American, or what is he?
No, he is a big Hungarian boy.
And maybe you guys don't even speak. Do you guys speak the same language?
No, unfortunately not. So everyone, I don't know why, everyone is asking if Hungarian and Polish are similar, but actually they are completely different. Even though we are close together, Hungarian is completely different. Like I have some Polish has some similarity with Czech, even with Russia, with Ukraine, but Hungary is just totally different. I don't know why.
And so English is his second. Wait, is English your second language, or your third language? Or
Yes, second.
So, and is English his second language?
Yes,
And that's how you guys communicate?
that's it.
Oh man, I'd love to be a fly on a wall for that. Do you guys ever have like dictionaries out? Like, does he have the Hungarian English dictionary out, and you have the Polish to English, and you guys are like trying to work it out?
Sometimes.
How do you guys fight? How do you fight?
So I'm the person who usually don't fight, or like my fights look like I just stop talking to him, and I'm just like shutting myself down, which is even worse for him from what he's saying. So he says that he would prefer if I would just scream at him or something, but instead of that, I'm just like, not talking.
Oh man,
And
your
it
relationship
works
should
really
be
good.
should be a play.
Sevan,
it
you
works
know
really good.
you know who her boyfriend is, right, Sevan?
No, I don't.
Okay.
Who's your boyfriend?
She can tell you.
Who's your boyfriend?
It's Christoph, and his surname is Horvat.
Oh, Laura's brother. Oh, you've told me that like a dozen times, huh, Brian?
Yeah.
Yes.
But okay. I have to tell you something. He hates when someone presents him as Laura's brother.
Well, he's fucked then, because that's what it's going to be for a long time, because she's freaking amazing.
Exactly.
Is he a competitor also?
Yeah.
Who's he going to root for at the games, you or her?
He's already had an opportunity to work on this.
Yeah, we
Sevan.
we had a really close competition at Stranding Depth last year with Laura in London, and we were basically battling till the end for first place. So Christo was in a really hard position, but I think he did a pretty good job. Like, he was kind of like, he always traveled with me. He's with me all the time, but he also tried to help his sister, which I totally understand. So I don't feel.
I mean, it's a good problem to have, right? I mean, in an ideal world, you guys would be on the podium 1 and 2 in some order, right?
Yeah.
So Sevan, I was in London for that competition, at Strength and Depth, and it basically came down to 20 points, and then they were 40 points clear of Haley Adams, and she was like 80 points clear of the next girl. So it was pretty much those three the whole weekend. And I was talking to Christoph throughout just kind of giving him a hard time day by day when I would see him, because it must have just been killing him. But he was in good spirits, and I agree with Gabby. I think he handled it really well, because that's a tough one.
So Gabriela, you must be pretty good. Did you beat Haley Adams in that competition?
Yes. Yes, I did.
Wow. So you are good. I thought with this. So this isn't a charity podcast. This is good. I'm feeling better about it already.
Thank you so much.
Let me give you her resume real quick.
Go ahead, Brian. Go ahead.
So
This is great.
Since she's become in the open division, she's been the fittest in Poland every year. The last what was your open finish this year? It was pretty high also. The last 4 years in the open, she's been inside the top 30, 17, 12. So very, very consistent. She was second in the quarterfinals this year in Europe. Her sanctional finishes were 4th, 2nd, 1st, 9th, and 7th, and she competed at some of the better ones, Dubai twice, Wadapalooza once, second at Strength and Depth we talked about, and she won Norway, which I think, Gabby, is probably your biggest competition win in CrossFit, right?
Mm-hmm.
Why do you say that?
Because she hasn't won a regional, and that's the only sanctional win she has. I mean, it's hard to win a sanctional. Like, if you look at
But who was there? Was there someone there that makes you say, okay, she beat...
Well, no, I'm saying it's the highest level competition
like
she's won.
Sanctional, when you say it, like, I think I'm even more happier that from that season of being 4th at Dubai, even though I didn't finish on the podium. Like, the the fact that the field in Dubai was so packed and I was able to finish fourth makes me more happy about this event than winning Norway.
And
that makes me so happy to hear you say that, Gabriela. Put Brian in his place. He thinks he knows everything.
No, she's exactly right. So the competition in Dubai, I would also say, is her best accomplishment, because that was a really good field. She was behind Sarah Sigmund's daughter, Karen Frey, Sam Briggs, and then behind her was Jamie Simmons, Emily Rolfe, Alessandra Pacelli, and a bunch of other athletes that have been in and out of the kind of games contention. But it was also the longest, most difficult competition she's probably competed in terms of the actual test. 10 plus events over 4 days in the desert, in the ocean, lots of odd objects and weird implements. I was also there for that, and she was very impressive in holding her own with all the women there.
I'll let her say thank you, Brian.
Thank you, Brian. That was perfect.
You should have Brian write your resume.
Yeah, I just didn't really want you to stop. It was really hard to... nice to hear. You could keep going. Tell me more.
Now Gabriela's feeling it. Now we're in the flow here. Gabriela, your sponsors pay for all of those events, all that travel, all of that?
So not all of that. It's just with different sponsors, I have different arguments. No, not arguments. Different contracts. And some of them are paying...
Agreements.
Agreements. Thank you. Different contracts. So some sponsors are paying monthly. Some sponsors are giving me bonuses depending on accomplishments. But I wouldn't say that they are paying fully for everything, unfortunately.
And who are your sponsors? Who are some of your sponsors? Are they based out of the U.S., Spain, Poland?
No, they are based in Europe. It's Nike, Fit 8, GoWatt, and Pixel.
What was the second one you said?
Fit 8. Fit 8.
Okay, so Nike, that's the shoe company, right?
Clothes company.
Yeah, clothes. Okay, and
Clothes
Fit 8,
and
they make
shoes,
the drinks.
Yes.
Yeah, they make everything: golf balls, notebooks. They make anything, underwear. But and then Fit 8, they make those drinks that I'm addicted to. I go through phases. I like the one that says creatine on it because then it makes me think I'm getting buff. Which one do you like?
So in Europe we have only a few flavors. We have the original one, which I really like. We have the one with creatine, RX.
Yeah.
And of course those two, but zero. So it's basically two flavors.
Will you tell will you tell them to send me 300 cases and I'll stack them up behind me and drink them on my show?
Okay.
Just let them know.
300? Okay, I will let them know.
Cases.
But you should
you
should put them behind you so everyone can see.
Yeah. I'll just reach
Only,
back and just be cracking them during the show. Yes.
And every 30 minutes, just you have to mention it. Oh, it tastes so good.
Every 30 minutes I have to go pee, so I'll be like, oh, I drank too many Fit 8s. Time to take a pee break. Do you pee a lot during the competitions?
Oh, before every event, it's insane. I just I have literally scheduled a pee break before I'm gonna go to the on the competition floor because I'm so stressed.
I've always been fascinated by this at competitions, at the CrossFit Games, for example. Just outside of North Park, they bring the athletes all the way across, and they'll have this rolling trailer bathroom, one for men, one for women, and you'll see the lines 20 people long. It's they're all going to want to pee right before they go on the field. Why don't you just put a big row of porta potties or something? Because they don't really care where they're going. They just need to get in, get out, and go. Not wait in a line of 15 people.
Well, because those are the clean ones, right? They give you nice trailers. Do you sit on the seat?
Depends. No.
Do you sit on the seats? You hover?
No. I really don't like it. Even it's just such a pain when your legs are super sore and you really want to sit on them. But especially when it's like this portable toilet, you really don't want to sit on them. It's just so disgusting.
Yeah, I always sit. I just say fuck it and sit. I was like, whatever. I always sit, and I don't use the ass gaskets either. Sometimes I wipe the seat, but
Just
let me ask you this: sometimes you sit?
Oh, she's
No,
making
like
fun of
I
you.
said, just you sometimes wipe it. Is it like?
Oh yeah.
You just wipe it when the amount of like disgusting stuff is above some limit, or it depends on your mood?
Basically, I just look at kind of the outside of the bathroom. Like if it's one of those porta potties that's like disgusting ones, then I wipe it. But if it's like one of those trailer ones like they have at the games, I just go in there. If there's no droplets on it, I just sit down and I enjoy myself. I don't even like I don't freak out or anything. I just enjoy the moment.
Okay. And one more
how about the
question.
bathrooms in Dubai? How about in Dubai though? Dubai, they don't mess around there. I'm guessing you definitely sat down on their bathroom toilets.
Oh yes, they are next level toilets.
They are, right? They really are,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, they look very clean. I think that someone is just cleaning them after every person or something.
So you wouldn't say that you never sit down. I just want to be clear. On those, you did sit down.
Okay, just Dubai once, and at my home.
Just isn't it amazing that we all know that Dubai has clean toilets? I mean, everything in Dubai is clean. They just when you have 12,000 residents and 600,000 servants, you can keep the toilets clean. I mean, it's basically like that. Why did you leave Poland to go to Spain? Well, first of all, let me make sure I understood this. You found CrossFit in Poland, correct?
Correct. Yes. And actually,
And I don't understand how.
Actually, I found
Go
it just because the gym just opened next to my house. So it was just very weird looking building. It was like super tall, like how you say it, like a factory or something, abandoned factory,
Like
and
a warehouse.
It was like a warehouse, yeah. And it looked curious, so I really wanted to check it out. And at that time, of course, I was like 16 years old, and I just wanted to start training even more to get in shape, you know. And then I decided to go and sign at the gym.
Do you know why that CrossFit gyms are in abandoned warehouses?
Probably the rent is cheaper.
Yes, because that's all the business model can afford the people who open them. And it's weird that CrossFit made it to Poland since it's so it lacks inclusivity and diversity. I don't understand how it ever made it to Poland.
Oh,
Sorry,
come on.
Gabby, I'm using this to push my agenda.
Do you even know how the Poland look on the map, and where is it? Like when you look at Europe,
Yeah,
Poland, it's quite big.
Yes,
It's not
I
like
understand.
it's like
I was being
super
sarcastic. I know I was being sarcastic. Of course, it's in 162 countries. It's in more countries than McDonald's and Starbucks. It's on all 7 continents. It's everywhere. All smart people do CrossFit, and Poland's full of smart people. Are you Jewish? No.
No, I'm not. No.
No. Okay. My sons are Jewish, so I'm like always looking for other Jews.
Gabby, do you have any thoughts about why there are kind of several good men who've come out of Poland, but you seem to be the only woman that's really had a lot of success?
I think the other guys, they're in just different stage in their life. Like they are a bit older and they are starting their families right now, so they don't really have time, and they can't really focus to be full-time athletes right now. So that can be.
In Poland in general, would you say that there's just as many guys as girls that do CrossFit that are participating in the gyms?
You mean like there's more guys in Polish gyms than girls?
Yeah, like at our gym, I think it's a pretty even split. There's just as many men as women who come. But in Poland, maybe I'm just curious if maybe there's just more men who are doing it than women.
I'm not sure actually. So when I started, maybe there was a difference, and you could see more guys in the gym than the girls. But now, I actually after semifinals, I went back to Poland for a few days, and I just came to say hi to my old gym and meet my friends. And actually, there was a lot of like girls training as well. So I think it's not that a big difference at this moment.
Just from a quick look at the map, it looks like there's about 20 CrossFit gyms in Poland. I actually thought that there would be more.
20?
Does that sound about right to you?
Are you sure?
I'm looking at the CrossFit affiliate map. No, I'm not sure of anything. This kind of stuff is Brian's job.
I think
but in the north I only
more.
see 2, and in the west I see 4, and in the central east I see 6, and in the south I see 5. But maybe I'm wrong. I'm just
weird.
looking at I went to the CrossFit affiliate map.
Okay, so I'm pretty sure that a few years ago there was much more affiliate CrossFit gyms, but like 2 years ago, I think gyms in Poland started to like help me with the word. Like they cancel their affiliate.
De-affiliation.
Oh, the affiliation.
Yes.
The affiliation. Okay.
Mm-hmm. So probably there are a lot of
so the
like,
gym is
there are a lot of gyms, but they are not affiliated anymore.
Okay. And then how old were you when you left Poland to go to Spain? Is that where you made your first leap? You went from Poland to Spain?
Mm-hmm. It was last March.
And why did you move?
So there are a few things. First thing is me and Christoph, we decided that we would like to live together, and I said to him that there's no way I'm gonna move to Hungary, and he said the same about Poland. So we decided that we have to find a new country which is gonna be new for both of us. And because at that time I started to work with John Singleton from the program, and he lives in Mallorca, and Christoph also started to work with him. We decided that maybe it's gonna be beneficial for us to actually live and be with our coach. So to have our coach with us during the training sessions.
Brian, did you know he lived there, Singleton?
I did. He's lived there for a few years, and he's had different athletes come and stay with him at different times or train with him at different times for different lengths of time. Gabby, did you know Jacqueline very well before you moved there?
Actually, yes, because to be honest, with our roads with John and Jacqueline crossed before, a few years back. Actually, I've been in Mallorca in 2016 before the games. John invited me for a small camp with Sarah, Sam Briggs, Mundi, before the regional in 2016. So I visited Mallorca that time. Then 1 year later, I traveled to Jacqueline, to Norway, and we trained there for 1 week. And I stay in her place, so actually we had a chance to get to know each other a bit better.
And
Brian, are you stunned by her commitment? I mean, I'm like blown away at how much she's done already. She's trained with Sarah. She's trained with this girl Jacqueline I've never heard of. She's trained with Sam Briggs. She's with John Singleton in Mallorca. I mean, it's crazy. She's so young and she's done so much already. You're not shocked by this? This is nuts.
Well, first of all, we should educate you on who Jacqueline is. It's Jacqueline Dahlstrom. She's Norwegian, and she's been training with John for a long time and had growing in success. She was second in her semifinal this year behind Kristen Holte, and also will be competing at the games. Gabby and Christoph and Jacqueline and John have been training. I think they've been training in Mallorca for almost 16 or 18 months now. Basically, with the start of all the lockdowns and COVID coincided with their move there, and immediately I was gravitated to that situation because, like she said much earlier in the show, there's not a ton to do on that island, so it was like the perfect environment for COVID. They were all there together with a singular goal, and you can just tell from listening to her that she has this mindset from her youth of committing to something and seeing it through. And then that opportunity just was like kind of the culmination of, for all four of them, I think, of like 3 or 4 years of looking for a situation like that. And so I've been looking forward to seeing how they would all do this season. And, I think Jacqueline and Gabby are both set up to have very good games this year.
Is that accurate, Gabriela?
Yes, that's just perfect. And actually,
Migala?
Yes. That's actually pretty good. I'm surprised.
Thank you. Don't be.
What I wanted to say about the lockdown. So, like Brian mentioned, we moved to Mallorca with Christoph just literally few days before the lockdown, and we were able to find an apartment for us. And 2 days.
I can't hear her. Can you, Brian? I think the cow sat on the internet signal again.
No,
Okay,
I can't believe she's in Wisconsin and the internet's this bad there. This is nuts. Is this the worst internet we've ever had from a guest? Besides yours?
Don't say that. Don't say that. Okay, I'm back now.
Oh, it's okay. It's okay. Brian loves it that your internet's fucked up because all the comments are just hating on him for his internet. So it's good that yours is worse than his. Go on.
Oh yeah, I thought like something is wrong with my phone when I tried to listen to you guys.
Or don't go on. I'll just keep talking. Singleton's been around forever, right, Brian? Until she starts talking. I mean, that guy he's kind of a legend now at this point.
Yeah, but not very. I don't think. Still, a lot of people don't know about him. He's been doing programming for I think groups around Europe for a long time, but maybe hasn't had the like breakthrough win or success from an athlete that he's needed to establish himself with some of the other guys who've been doing it as long.
But he deserves to be in that group. I mean, he's a powerhouse. I mean, look at the names he's working with. He's working with Gabriela. He's working with Sarah. He's working with Sam in the past, right? Those two in his past, and now he's got this new powerhouse in Gabriela. He's got this young lady coming out of Poland he's attracting the right people. Gabriela, oh my goodness, your internet connection actually. I don't want to jinx it, but it looks good. Okay, go on. Were you going to say something before the internet interrupted you? Go on.
Yes.
Okay.
So about the lockdown, I don't know what you guys heard, but me and Christoph moved to Mallorca last year in March, and literally few days before the whole lockdown in Spain, we got our keys to apartment. And basically, our apartment was completely empty. We didn't have any plates, any pans, we didn't have bed, any furnitures. So we were screwed. Like, IKEA was closed, and basically, the decision was, because they said that the lockdown's gonna last for 2 weeks. So we were like, okay, we got this. John and Jacqueline invited us to their place, and they live outside the city in small farm. I mean, the property is quite big, it's just they have really tiny apartment there. And we decided to grab some equipment from the gym and move it to the farm. So everything was going on for 2 weeks. We're like, okay, counting down the days, we're gonna be back in the gym, it's gonna be normal again. But then they said, okay, the lockdown's gonna last for another 2 weeks. So what we should do now? Like, I have to admit that there was a little bit hard time, but compared to other guys, other people, we were quite lucky that we had enough equipment and we were able to continue the training. Like, when we are looking at this now, we had pretty fun time, and there are mostly good memories from that period, but it was something special for sure.
What's your boyfriend's name again? The big Hungarian guy?
Laura's brother.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Laura's brother. Ouch.
Okay, he's
so-
gonna hate me so much. Christoph. Actually, it's
Christoph.
Christoph.
So
Christoph, yeah.
when you're in this apartment and you don't have a bed, do you just lay on him? I just picture you like a little cat, like just curling up on his chest and his tummy.
Yeah.
He
That could work. Actually, you guys won't believe what is happening right now. So
Tell us.
We have this amazing Airbnb in the fish farm. The house is amazing. Everyone has their own room, but we ended up having quite tiny bed, and the mattress is very soft. And Christoph hates soft mattress. So last night I woke up in the middle of the night and I see like, Christoph, where are you? There's no Christoph. I just went to toilet and I almost stepped on him because he was lying on the floor. He was sleeping on the floor. So he actually preferred to sleep on the floor instead of soft mattress. That's pretty crazy. But I don't mind. The bed is for
he's
all
a
by
Hungarian.
myself,
I picture him. I'm gonna look up I'm Googling right now Hungarian bear. I want to see what a Hungarian bear. Yeah, there's a Hungarian bear. That's what I picture Christoph to look like Christoph to look like the Hungarian bear. If he doesn't have a nickname, you can call him that, the Hungarian bear. So what did your parents think when you moved there to Mallorca? Were they okay with that?
So there was like mixed feelings because on one side they were very happy for me that I'm doing this. They were very happy that I can grow as an athlete. I'm gonna have a lot of possibilities there. But on the other hand, they were quite sad that their little girl is like moving to a different country, and yeah, that's it. They were just worried. But in general, they are very happy. Actually, they are coming to my apartment in like 7 days to take care of it and have a cool vacation.
Oh, that's nice. So they're not coming to Madison.
No, not this year. Like it's basically impossible right now because Europe it's closed for everyone. Kind of, so
Forever too.
They
You know
won't be
that,
able-
right? It's closed forever.
Forever.
You know it's
Okay,
forever,
okay.
right? Yes. I mean, it must be hard on your parents because in essence they have to think that you're never going to come back home again. You've flown the nest. Like, why would you go back to Poland now? You got a Hungarian dude. You have a place in Spain, and the hub of your sport is in the United States. And so, I mean, right? I mean, you're gone. You're now a Polish woman out in the wild.
I think they are aware of that, but also they visited me a few months ago, and they really, really like this place. I think they fall in love in Mallorca a bit, and I don't know if they said those stuff just because they were after a few bottles of wine, or it's really true. But they said that they might consider moving there at some point. So I don't know how Christoph likes this, but I'm pretty happy if they would do that. It's just the thing is, I have a sister and she's 12, and brother which is he is 7 right now. So they just want them to like grow and finish their schools, and then they might consider moving abroad because there's nothing which is holding them in Poland. Like, except the family, of course. Like, this is the friends and family is the hardest to like get away from, but we'll see. Like, my parents are pretty young too. So my mom is 42. My mom is 42. And my dad, I have no idea, probably I'm gonna make it wrong, is 48? 49? 48,
Yeah,
I think.
your mom is.
Yeah.
Is that normal
I'm
in
very
Poland? Is that normal in Poland? Like, do they want kids from you already?
No.
It's not normal in Poland?
I was kind of surprise baby. My mom got me when she was 19, like 18, 19. So I think she's
and were they
really
married
happy
at the time?
No. So this is not what I usually say to like people, but so my dad right now, it's
Two
not
strange
my
men.
it's not my biological father. So they weren't married.
But he's been with you since you were a baby?
Since I was 4, basically. So you can really remember most of the stuff when you were younger than 4. So I would say like he was with me from the beginning. Like, I remember him as my dad since forever. So yeah.
Do your siblings are they similar to you? Do they have your same characteristics? Your drive?
So my sister, like I said, she's 12. At the beginning, like a few years ago, I thought she's gonna be into sports because she was like super active and she tried a lot of outside school activities. But now she seems that she's really into computer stuff and like design stuff in computer, like computer stuff. I don't know how you can call it.
Yeah, that works. Yeah.
Like, she's really artistic. And my brother, it's really hard to say. So far, he's really energetic. Like, he really likes to talk. He really likes to run. He just can't sit in one place. So we will see. He plays football right now. So.
And do they know what you do?
Yes, they
do your
know.
brother and sister know what you do?
They know.
And they've seen you on TV?
Yes. Actually, my sister and my brother, they went at the games in 2016. So my brother was a baby and my sister was like 7. No, she was 10. I'm really bad at math, so just...
I'm really good at math.
Don't make me count. Don't make me count.
So it sounds like Majorca. Do you want to say something, Brian?
Go ahead.
Okay, it sounds like Majorca is your home. The fact that you said that your parents might consider moving there just means that you've expressed to them that is now your home base. And it sounds like you're happy with your coach, John Singleton, and that you're going to continue to train there, and you've really dug your heels in. You're going to stay with that training camp, and you're going to pursue this thing till you get till you win, till you get first place.
Yeah, that's a plan for the future, close future. We'll see. That's
what do you think, Brian?
I started to
Go
take
ahead.
Spanish lessons, but they are going very bad.
So,
Yeah,
Gabby, I'll tell you a quick.
Forgot how to learn. Yeah.
I'll tell you a quick story. Actually, see this painting behind me? I used to live in the Dominican Republic, and before I lived there, I did not speak any Spanish. And over time, when I was living there, most of the people I interacted with were English-speaking people who were coming down to volunteer through the organization I was working with. And then as I spent a little more time there, I made some friends in the community, and in particular this one guy who was a painter, And on my days off, I would go sit with him, and we would just trade days. On one day, we could only speak in English, and on the other day, only Spanish. So he was learning, and then I was learning, and back and forth, and basically that's how I learned Spanish.
Okay, that's pretty cool way to learn Spanish.
So maybe
Actually,
you'll meet a painter.
What were you going to say? Go ahead, Gabriela.
That actually the gym owner in the gym we train in Mallorca, her name is Ellie, and she basically speaks only Spanish. So sometimes in the mornings when I meet with her, I try to speak some Spanish, and that makes her super happy, even though she sometimes probably doesn't know what I meant to say. Except hola, ¿qué tal? I think
Hola, ¿qué tal? Yeah.
Yeah, this is what I really mastered.
That's the limit of your vocabulary?
Yes.
Tell me this. Do you prefer to train with women or with men? Do you have a preference?
I think, in general, sorry, I really need to charge my laptop.
Oh, yeah, please do. It's very important that the battery doesn't die. That would be a disaster.
I forgot, I'm sorry. I'm rescuing it.
Yeah. Oh, and that wherever it is right there, that connection is money. That's
Really?
so good.
Should I
Even though we
stay?
can't see you. Yeah, if you stay right there, that would be great. But can you turn that light off behind you?
Really? Then it's gonna be completely dark. Wait, I will try like this
Oh.
side.
Oh, that's good.
Is it okay?
Yeah, but just make sure you plug it in. Just make sure you plug it in, because that would be horrible
It's in.
if we lost this. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, that's good.
I'm just on Christoph's
Is
bed
that the
right
soft
now.
bed you were talking about?
Yeah, I was
Oh,
sitting on the
floor.
soft bed
The floor
before,
is-
and now I'm on Christoph's bed, which is floor.
Okay. Okay. God, that's the lowest bunk bed I've ever seen. Look how low that is. The Hungarian bear would have problems turning over there. His shoulders would hit the top of that bed. Look at that thing. That thing's like a sandwich.
No, actually, it's weird room because we have two pieces, two bunk beds, and twin beds in the middle of the room. So we don't
So
sleep.
it's
here.
a party.
Yeah, it's a party.
Okay. Does anyone sleep there?
No, luckily.
Does
no.
anyone sleep there? Do you guys share? Okay.
No, we have different rooms. as well.
So what was my question? What was my question?
If I prefer.
Oh, boys or
prefer
girls?
to
Who do you
train-
prefer? Yeah.
So I think I prefer to train with guys, like in daily basics. It's just like less stressful. They never gonna be your competitors. They if you're gonna lose, it's like okay, but they are guys, so it's not really messing up with your head. And if you're gonna lose, it's only beneficial. It's like okay, I just beat this guy. It's amazing. I'm a girl. But it doesn't mean that I don't like to train with Jacqueline. Like I think like we are making a pretty good team at this point. Like we are totally opposites. So I'm like bigger athletes, stronger athletes, and we are both good at conditioning stuff. And she's like a bit smaller athlete, and she's really good at gymnastics, especially pulling gymnastics, which is my area to where I have to work more. So I think we are pushing each other in really good areas. It was challenging. At
The reason why I
beginning
ask
because,
is, go ahead.
It's
Sorry.
challenging. It was challenging at the beginning because I wasn't used to train with other people. In Poland, I basically train by myself, or some random guys just drop in, but like the level was not really like the same. So it was a bit stressful to, it was just this mindset that we are competing all the time at the beginning, but I think now I learn how to deal with that more.
I asked because in the photo on your Instagram, the photo of you as a young girl playing tennis, it's you and like eight boys, and so I was just wondering if you were used to that in sports, like if you were just really surrounded by a lot of boys who were playing sports.
Yes, in general we had a really good and big group in tennis. Back in the days, it was a lot of guys, but there was not not much less girls as well in this group. So it wasn't like I used to train only with girls. But I have to admit, I think I get along better with guys, like in general, when it comes to hanging out or spending time with. It just comes more naturally, like easier to connect.
Are you ready for the games? Are you like if it started tomorrow, like are you sitting there right now going, okay, let's get the show on, like I'm ready, like let's do this?
Yeah, I'm super ready. Like at this point, I don't think there's much more you can do. Like I don't think you can get much fitter in 1.5 weeks. Like I think it's more important to stay healthy, and even though like at this point I even think catching myself thinking, am I doing enough right now? Like maybe I should do extra this, extra that. Maybe I should do another training session or something. But like John, the coach is saying that it's much better to stay to not get overtrained coming to the games. Like it's super important to trust the process and yeah, be rested.
So, Gabby, this is going to be actually your third games, but it's really the first one that of this format. I mean, and not counting the teenage years, because in 2019, obviously, well, can you talk to us about what happened in 2019 for you?
Yes. So
No, I cannot, Brian.
Let's skip this. I really preferred when you were just talking about my
Sorry,
wins.
Sorry, Brian. My internet went out again. The Hungarian bear squashed the internet access. He tripped over the cord. He ate the router. The Hungarian bear is eating the router. I'm sorry. This podcast is over. Jesus
Is it
Christ.
okay now?
Gabby, we'll wait for you. You do your thing.
Okay, I'm back. Okay.
We can't see you or hear you, but we're just chilling. I actually look good today, so I'm enjoying looking at myself. We still can't hear you.
What about now?
Brian, while she fixes her internet, while she pushes the bear. No. Hey, while she pushes the bear off the internet router, how's she going to do at the games? How's Miss Gabriela Migala going to do at the games?
Well, it's, like I said, it's been our third year. This will be her third year going, but in the first year, she mentioned earlier that she's been working on her upper body pulling, but she didn't make it out of the first cut event that year. She was actually the first one cut, like 76th place, which will show 75th, I think, on the leaderboard, or maybe even 74th because of subsequent people who failed drug tests. But anyway, so she only got one event. And I was really looking forward to seeing her that year. I thought she had a top 20 potential out of that like massive field. Obviously, she was still younger. And last year was the online version of the test, and basically, if you didn't make the top 5, no one knows who you are anyway or what you did. So it was kind of a irrelevant year. You didn't really get to see her what she could do. So I do look at that competition in Dubai as like the biggest kind of indicator of what her potential is, and I think it's a really deep field for the women this year. I'd say that like a range of possible finishes for her is everywhere from like 7th to 17th type range.
And so this is really her first games.
Yeah, I would say that. And outside of the teenage years, she said it was not really the same, but at least she got to complete all the tests. But there's only about half as many tests as they'll have this year. So she's done a big competition before in Dubai twice. She's done Wadapalooza, so she's put herself in situations to compete against the best, even though she hasn't had that opportunity. But yeah, this is going to be the biggest and hardest and longest competition she's ever done, and I think she's ready for it.
It's a little weird that it's her third year in the games. We can see you now, by the way, Gabriela. A second ago we were talking behind your back, but now we're talking to your face. It's interesting that it's her third games, and she's had to deal with those two situations. The games where they kind of a bastardized version of the games where so many people were cut, and then the games that I don't even know what you call last year, but now this year. So this is a special one. This is a special one for you, huh, Gabriela?
Oh, this is super special. Like, actually, when I look at my games appearance, it's like I try all the formats. I try games in Carson, California. Okay, it was maybe as a teen, but it was still in Carson. Then I tried a new format with this unfortunate cutting system, and I tried the Stage 1 CrossFit Games online version. So I'm really, really excited to do like real games at this time.
Get at it. Did you hear Brian's predictions for you?
I heard.
You heard. Do you have any feedback for Brian? You can tell him to eat a dick. It's fine.
Well, Brian, I thought you put me a little bit higher on that scale, but it's okay. I still like you.
You can use it as motivation. Show me that I screwed it up.
Yeah, I will. Exactly. I'm gonna prove you wrong.
Thanks for coming on. I appreciate it. I really apologize that we had so much trouble in the beginning. That's my fault. Everything after that, it's all your fault. So,
sorry for that as well. I can't control
it's
the
really a
cows
pleasure.
here.
It's a pleasure speaking with you. Where are you staying for the games? You're not staying there where you're at, are you?
No. So we're gonna head to Madison on Saturday, next Saturday.
Okay.
And we're gonna stay in one of the hotels close to arena, so it's gonna be quite close.
Okay, fabulous. Go ahead, Brian. Do you want to say one more thing?
Gabby, is it easy for you to take naps?
Nap? No. I'm very bad at naps. Even though I'm super tired, it's just Christoph.
I have a feeling that Christoph is good at taking naps.
Yes, he can sleep anywhere in any kind of conditions. Anytime, anywhere. It's really good skill to have, actually. I'm very jealous of that.
Why do you say that, Brian? Because bears are good at hibernating?
No, I just know that about him. But no, this is great. It's great to catch up with you, and I'm excited that you guys are here. I'm really looking forward to both seeing you and Jacqueline on this stage this season, and so it'll be fun to see you guys.
Gabriela, I may bug you during the games week. No pressure. Feel free to say no. But there may be times during the games week that I reach out to you and say, hey, do you want to jump on a call? But seriously, low pressure. Just be like, no, not now. There's no offense will be taken. I understand that you guys are in a crazy week. But we'd love to get insights from athletes as the week goes on.
Okay, sure. That sounds cool.